What's up, YouTube? Back again with another video. I don't even remember the last time I posted a video, but anyways, here we are. This is how to become a better designer. This is my second take. I recorded this like 5 hours ago, something like that. I just opened to edit it and the whole video was messed up. Something wrong with OBS, so I'm hoping nothing happens this time. But let's jump into it. So the first step in becoming a better designer, we're going to cover the obvious first. First thing, designing more. That's a given. The more you do it, the more experience you gain with it, the better you get. I don't really need to go into depth about that. Next, obvious, is watch YouTube tutorials. Go on YouTube, search up Photoshop tutorials. If there's a specific technique that you want to replicate, something you want to do, look it up on YouTube. There's a wide array of videos out there. Also, check out my channel. More videos coming soon. And the last point in the obvious is learn the software. So I have these books. I started learning Photoshop and Adobe programs in high school. And we would go through, not these exact same ones, they were different, but these classroom in a book, if it wants to focus. These basically go through the program step by step through lessons, and they teach you everything there is to know about the program. Shortcuts, how to do certain effects, even like tips on how you should organize your files and whatnot. So learning the software is just going to help you be able to execute more on your ideas. So the second one is find your favorite designer. So you can go on social media, Instagram, YouTube, Google, whatever, wherever you find your people. What I use is behance.net. If you're a graphic designer, you should already know about this. People upload their artwork, their portfolios. You can even get hired on this site. So go on this site, search up whatever design you're into. For me, it's basketball, sports, magazine editorials. Just search up that kind of stuff, those keywords. Find your inspiration and find your favorite artist. It can be more than one, however many you find that you like, but I would try to keep it small because we're trying to emulate them, and that's only going to make us a lot better if you just narrow it down. So for me personally, my favorite designer is Reese Knight, also known as Knight Design. I'm really attracted to his style with the subjects, especially with how he touches them up. He has actually a YouTube channel and a tutorial on how he does it. But basically, you want to find your favorite artist, go through their work, like see what you like about their work, and ask yourself why you like it. Ask yourself what draws you to the work. And that's going to really point you in the direction of where you need to go in terms of what you need to study and what you need to look out for. So once you find your artist, the next step is study their designs. So like I said, go through, find whatever designs you like, take a screenshot of the design and bring it into Photoshop. This one's already drawn on. Like I said, I had recorded this video earlier, but so what I do is I just make a new layer, change it to a color that's contrasting from the design, nothing that's gonna blend in. And then I'm basically gonna go in and break down the design, go through every single element, ask yourself, why is this here? What does it add to the overall design? What does it add to the hierarchy, to the structure, to the focus? So biggest thing, well, the first thing, if you're trying to emulate, I would look at the player retouch or the subject retouch. So like I said, Knight Design, he has a tutorial already on his YouTube channel. So I already know how he does it. But if you just look at certain things like how sharp the skin is or the jerseys are. Different artists like to have it really sharp, really detailed, really crisp. Other people like to have it softer. They add more of a soft touch. They denoise it and remove that. So look at that. Reese, he typically puts grain in the subject, so It's a bit more textured, I guess. Other things you can look at is he brushes on highlights on his subjects. So he would just go in with a layer with a white brush, set it to overlay, and brush over the white parts, and then do the same thing with black. That just brings in more contrast. Something else to point out with this design specifically is that he desaturated the whites in the jerseys. You can just put a black and white layer and just brush onto that. Something else he did, looking at the cutouts, he has an inner shadow on linear dodge on the subject over here. It could be just to add highlights on him, or it could be to remove, because sometimes when you, or most of the time, if not all of the time, when you cut out a subject, there's like a black kind of like stroke around it. I might have a tutorial on my channel about how to like remove that easily. If I don't and you want to know how, just leave me a comment and I'll reply. It's pretty easy. But anyways, yeah, so we're looking at the subjects. The skin tones are all matching. Skin tones you can match with selective color. He desaturated the whites in the teeth and the eyes, and also brightened them up a little bit. And yeah, next thing we can look at is, or one of the most important things that I like to look at. The first thing is the visual flow of the design. So when you're looking at a design, where does your eye go? So for me, first is going to be the big subject of Miles Turner, and then it's going to go down like an arrow shape to the second subject, third, down to the stats, and then it's going to go around the design. Our eyes are just going to go around, see what else is there. And it's also a good tip or a good thing to just have more assets, like more little additional things in your design like this, like text, or even these like rectangles, these tertiary elements. Not only does it bring in cohesion and adds like structure, and it anchors the subjects. If the subject was here without anything behind him, there would be nothing anchoring him to the design. So that's why we have these borders behind him. So that it's good to have those things in the background. Also, it rewards the viewer. The longer they stay on the design, like the longer time they take to look around, they see, oh, there's a Lego brick here I didn't even notice. So just having those more elements that don't take away from the center of focus really helps to keep eyes on it. So yeah, we'll look at the visual flow. It goes this way. Another thing is that he has, like I said, the rectangle behind each subject with the gradient map with the colors of the pacers. Same thing right here. You can see he uses gradients on pretty much every single rectangle besides these few ones here. Lego bricks with the same colors. Text up here, he's got his name. And look at the margins, look at the free space. This design has a lot of white space around it, allowing every element to really breathe and have its own given space, I guess, in the design. Also, if you're trying to emulate this, pay attention to the background. This background specifically, it doesn't have any like noise or anything. It looks like just like a little off-white maybe. So pay attention to that. Now I'm going to give you a real example of a design that I tried to emulate. So I'll try to go over this quickly. So this Pokemon design was one I made, and then this one on the left was by Reese by Night Design. So same thing, I broke down the design. So he's got the center subject here, front and center, it's just her head, but I tried to do that with Pokemon. I masked her head, but it didn't fit. So obviously different elements you use are gonna fit to what you want to do, I guess. So you just adjust to that. So anyway, so yeah, I have her obviously almost her full body there. Reese also has, it's just all blue. It could be a gradient overlay, a color lookup. Everything is just blue here, so I went over with a Pokemon. I did pink because of her dress color. He also has this subject, has a rectangle behind her. Did the same thing with Pokemon. one thing I guess I did different was have her arm come out of the rectangle. It felt a little awkward having it behind or in like the mask of this. And also I like having them pop out because it just adds more depth to the design, makes it more three-dimensional. And then obviously with that, you have to add your shadows underneath. And what else? So we have this other border, this like floral pattern or whatever you want to call it. I translated that over here with some jewels that I found online. I brought it into Illustrator, had to like color each one, and then bring it back into Photoshop. Then another thing to note is the fonts. Night Design in specific is really intentional with its fonts. And once you have like your style of the design, it's going to call for a specific type of font. So it's up to you to really take your time and look through as many fonts and like really pay attention to them and see what fits and what doesn't. A lot of times typography is like pushed away in the terms of importance and like what you want to focus on and study, I guess, and like try to get better. It's not really a skill set a lot of people focus on, and there's a fly here, a lot of people focus on, but if you take the time and you are intentional with it, it's just going to elevate your design. So I brought, same thing with the text, I made that in Illustrator, brought it into here. Let's see what else. He has some other elements in the background that kind of just also bring everything together, because if it was just this, it would feel probably too empty. So having these, they're not really too in focus and they come off of the border. These just combine and just make it focus, draw more to the center. So I did that with these corner pieces. So that kind of leads us into, it kind of is in the same field, but the next thing that we were going to talk about is creating with intent. So like for this design, I didn't just open a canvas and start putting stuff on there like I do most of the time, I'm not going to lie. With this design specifically, I wanted not only to use inspiration for it, I wanted to do it intentionally and really take my time with it. That's also another thing I feel like would help you, is make sure you don't limit yourself on the time that it takes to make a design. Typically I'm like, okay, I'll get this done in an hour. And then once it reaches that hour, it could be pretty much done. But if I spend another hour or two, however long on it, I can make it that much better. So don't limit yourself on the time you take to make a design. Really take your time with it and enjoy the process and be very intentional with each thing that you do, each decision that you make. Whether it's a font, whether it's a color, whether it's a shape, whether it's what picture you use for the subject. Try to really consider everything. Because once you start doing that, once you start thinking more about your design, it's only going to help you, because you're going to start seeing things. You're going to start noticing not only your style, you're going to start noticing how you think in the workflow of making a design, and you're going to see what kind of like decisions you lean towards, like, oh, do I want to make a black and white design or do I want to make color? Like you will see what you want to do. And also another thing to add on to that is limit yourself. When you make a design, try to limit yourself. For this one, also with Pokimane, it's the same thing as the inspiration. He only really used one color, but that's a good challenge to do. It's not too difficult to do at all, and it only helps you because you're creating something maybe that you're not used to. For me, I'm always making colorful designs, but when I limit myself to 3 colors, which when I say 3 colors, I mean like white, black, and then an actual like accent color. Once I limit myself to those, it only boosts your creativity. There's like a saying like that, like, I don't know, you get really creative when you have limits. I don't know what the saying is. But anyways, limit yourself in your design. 2 fonts, 1 cutout, maybe no cutouts. Maybe you want to do one that's just text. Like start limiting yourself, limiting yourself, because then you'll start having to do other things that you're not used to. And those things that you're not used to, those things that you may not be comfortable with, once you take the time to actually learn them and hone those skills, you're gonna get so much better. So I'll have, should we wrap it up? 15 minutes. Yeah, we're gonna wrap it up. I think I really spoke on everything I wanted to. There were other things, but I can make more videos, so that's fine. So these were the 4 things. We talked about the obvious: design more, watch tutorials, learn the software, find your favorite designer, go on Behance, go on social media, find your inspiration, study them, really write down their style, look at what they do, look at how they style their subjects, look at all their different designs and see what stays consistent. Whether it's the background having noise, whether it's the background having a gradient map, something like that. Really get specific with what they do, because that's going to help you emulate them that much more. So yeah, study their designs and then create with intent. Next time you open the canvas, don't even bring in a subject. Make rectangles. Here, really quick, I'll show you. Make rectangles like this. Like, oh, I want this to go here, or I want a picture to go here, I want a picture to go here, and then bring them in. And that's what I did with this one, but I don't have time for that right now. So yeah, those were the 4 things. If you guys have any questions, if you want any more tutorials, anything specific, let me know in the comments. I'll definitely be there to help you out. Make another video if you guys want. Leave a like, subscribe. Thank you for taking the time today, and I'll see you in the next one.